Yes, everything Melbourne. This is Triple M Side Breakfast coming up to 4 minutes past 8. Top of 34 degrees in town today, heading into the Cup Carnival. But great news, Will, for the Western Bulldogs yesterday. I believe we won the draw.
Yeah, look, isn't it great that, it's Spring Racing Carnival, so the AFL's been leaking out the new fixture for 2020 over the last week to get some headlines. And, there's always big stories that come out of it. And one of them, apparently, is the fact that the Bulldogs have won the draw because we play the least teams that made the finals twice, which you don't understand the Bulldogs. Look at their season this season. We beat everyone who was above us on the ladder, and we lost the Gold Coast. We lost the Carlton. This is a horror draw for us, Tas. We want to play the top teams, not the bottom teams.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's I love how the analysts go after the fixture. Who knows who's going to be good next year? Who's going to bounce back up the top of the table?
It is ridiculous. So if you've just flown in from anywhere for the Derby and the Melbourne Cup, and you've been reading all this, they go, what do you mean the fixture is there and you get an advantage or a disadvantage?
Yeah.
What? How do you have a fixture?
That's why it's a fixture, isn't it? It's not a draw because not all teams play each other twice, and sometimes it's in a very random order. How do you feel, Ed, though? I'm very worried about you guys. You must be angry. You must be livid about Collingwood. 14 games at the MCG. How do you feel playing 14 games at Geelong's home ground? I mean, this is...
Well, I'm
real disadvantage for you.
I don't know why would we be having a season opener down at that other place, the joint down at the Spencer Street.
That's right. That's Collingwood's version of travel.
That is
when you have to go to Marvel. That's an away game.
We're going to go to Perth twice in the last month.
How many times do you travel for the rest of the year?
No, well, I put to them. Three. We play everyone. Don't worry.
We play everyone. We play everyone. That's great that you agreed to play everyone this year.
Okay. All right. Just before we get it, let me get.
This is the Lord Vesti of the AFL we're dealing with here.
Okay. So do you like the idea of having a preliminary final where the team that wins gets the home final? Because that's predicated on the deal that Collingwood did with the AFL to play games at the MCG. Okay. Do you guys like equalisation? You like getting the money that you don't get from anywhere else? Do you like that stuff?
I do like that.
Well, just
do you like Anzac Day? Do you like Queen's birthday?
What, the day where we play where you've got to pay extra for security and all that?
They're pretty big days.
He's gone with you have to pay extra.
It's not the big money winner that everyone thinks it is. Don't worry about that. But I'll tell you what it does,
Anzac Days.
Extra security.
Tell you what it does. Tell you what it does, though. It gets the TV rights, of which we get nothing from. You guys get it all. So just don't bite the hand that feeds, okay? Relax.
No, fair enough, mate.
Just worry about you guys. You're playing us in round one. It's your home game. That should be enough.
People always think the best thing about charity is when you bang on about how much charity you give to other
I'm not giving charity. You're asking questions. You're attacking me. Okay, well,
we're not attacking.
We'll go back to Victoria Park and play. All right?
Want to do that? We'll go back to Victoria Park.
How many times has Gil heard that in a meeting? It's like, well, we'll go back to Victoria Park and play.
That's it. No worries. Yeah.
How do you feel about Collingwood's draw, though? No, are you fine with the fixture?
The draw's the draw. You just get on with it. I think it's a very good draw for. The interesting points for me is Thursday night. The emergence of Thursday nights is a big thing. I think we've got to make a decision on the Friday nights what time that starts. I think. I've always said 7:50 is too late. I understand you need to get the Better Homes and Gardens on Channel 7, which is fair enough. But if you can get it as close to 7:30 as possible.
Hey, let me ask this question because, the system works where all 18 clubs put their submissions in and the Bulldogs will go, we want to play, obviously, at Marvel Stadium.
We want Good Friday. We'd love to be involved in Good Friday.
We want television exposure to maximise it. And then it goes into the algorithm at the AFL. Ed, what's at the top of that algorithm for the AFL? What are they, out of the fixture, wanting to get more than any other thing? Is it TV exposure? Is it money? Is it attendances? What would be the number one thing that they put at the top?
It's a combination of all that, Das, and there's nothing wrong with that because now, we're heading into a great unknown in the world of media.
Yes.
Every story this week has been about media companies cutting costs, cutting people, all the rest of it, okay? So it's getting tougher and tougher. The AFL must position itself to be in the best possible situation for the next TV rights, which will come in the next 12 months or so.
So this is a big TV ratings year.
Yeah.
You can't afford to have bunch of Friday nights and Thursday nights with teams that are underperforming.
2 years
for example.
ago, they went with the we'll give everyone a go routine, and the ratings went off a cliff. Last year,
But had a great year last year.
20%.
Yeah.
Last year because it straightened up 20%. But there's room for everybody. I think what needs to happen is clubs have got to work out what is a bit of a niche position. Now, whether that is, Sunday nights, it doesn't work in Melbourne, okay? But maybe the Gold Coast is where you play that. Maybe you play those games in Perth. So they come in at Sunday afternoon in Perth, bring them in. There's smart ways of doing it. Thursday night now opens up another opportunity for clubs to play. Now, I think Thursday nights are good, particularly in school holidays. Okay, so you don't want to be doing them in the middle of the year when it's cold and wet and things like that. But Adelaide like Thursday nights, for example. MCG or maybe under the lid at Etihad on a Thursday night, as I said, during school holidays. So the first 5 weeks of the season.
What week
are
do
good.
which round do you guys go to the Gold Coast?
We're not going to Gold Coast this year. No, that's one of the few places we're not going. We're going to Perth twice. Don't go to Adelaide. We go to Sydney
Don't
twice.
go to the Gold Coast.
And we go, of
No
course,
Gold Coast, eh?
to set up the Brisbane Lions again, as we did last year, as part of a deal we've done with Tourism Queensland as well, to take the Collingwood Army up there for Easter. So that's what we do.
Up to Brisbane, but not the Gold Coast. By the way, I endorse
Well,
that. That is exactly 100% what I would do as well.
Sorry, we're going to play 26 games, are we?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not playing the Gold Coast because they're down the bottom, so we didn't get the easy game. No, that's what happened. No, we finished in the top 4. So but people need to know that it's divided into thirds, so that the top teams play each other and the second level down, and you only get last year's Spuds once. Yeah. No, that's it.
Spuds.
Well, there's Spuds down the bottom, and then they'll come up. But there's a few Spuds who'll be good this year.
That's not a bad name for them, actually. The Gold Coast Spuds.
Get Spud Bar involved, the
Exactly.
major
There's
sponsor. Lord of the Fries.
I tell you, these days, you look at the fixture. There's no easy game. There's no easy game in football these days, and that's what's going to make it fantastic next year. So, to the point that was made early on in this, it doesn't matter. You look at last year, 2 years ago, we would have looked like the Spuds coming off missing the finals for 4 years, and then suddenly you're playing good football. Melbourne will come back next year. They were second last this year. They're better than that. So there's no easy game of football coming up.
Well, good discussion, guys. And if we didn't do enough of it, you've only got another, 5 months before it all starts to examine the draw.
Exactly.